Welcome back to the ESPN Esports studio. Darren Kwilinski with you this week, and the Atlanta homestand is finally upon us. But first, we got some talking to do about our Overwatch League power rankings, and Emily Rand joins us from Los Angeles. Emily and friends have mixed it up a little bit, and let's talk about our newest addition at number 5, Shanghai Dragons, coming in up for an ESPY for snapping their 42-game losing streak, Emily. But let's talk about how they got from that 42-game loss streak to here in our top 5.
I do want to say that this is looking like a really good meta for Shanghai, especially their DPS players. You definitely want to pay attention to Ding and Diem, who've both been having phenomenal performances as of late. So that's what I'm looking for from Shanghai. But yeah, if you want to know how they aren't losing games anymore like last year, a lot of it is the roster changes that they've made.
Love it. And we're going to move right on to number 4, San Francisco Shock. Now, I know they're a team that you have faith in, Emily, but this is their second loss that they took in the last 3 weeks. Our team's just figuring out how to beat them, or is it really just their own style, their own mentality? Are they making their own mistakes?
This is a bit of a weird meta time. It reminds me in League of Legends when I see teams trying out in China stuff that is actually on a patch that isn't live, but they're just playing it anyway. Because of the rumored 2-2 lock that could be coming up, I think that, along with the reemergence of Sombra, is one of the reasons why we've seen teams experimenting with more DPS compositions, maybe going away from the GOATs or triple compositions. And let's be real, the Shock were one of arguably the best team. I still think Vancouver is actually the best overall triple team, but you know, the Shock are in that conversation. And so as they've been transitioning, it's been slightly shaky. They have strong DPS players. I think they'll be fine. I also think that one of those losses was to Chengdu, who has been preparing for this. You know, they've always stuck to DPS. So Chengdu is such a weird team to lose to and also beat. We never really know where they stand. So that's another thing to consider when you're looking at the Shock dropping a bit this week.
That was the Hunters, Emily, that did take that win over the Shock, and we will be keeping a close look on that 2-2-2 lock. But for now, let's talk about number 3, the New York Excelsior, the NYXL. They have a chance this weekend at the Overwatch homestand in Atlanta to lock up that number 1 seed with victories over the very tough to beat 1-4 Mayhem and the unstoppable 0-5 Toronto Defiant. Give us your odds on anyone upsetting NYXL this weekend.
So both of these rosters are obviously in flux. They're kind of rebuilding towards the end of the season. That being said, New York hasn't looked great, especially this past week. So I still think New York should win. However, if there was a time for a major upset like this, it could be now, because New York haven't looked particularly convincing in making their recent transition to playing more of what people say are Sombra GOATs comps and kind of reacting to, again, a post 3-3 or GOATs world. So we'll see. I still think they should win. They have the talent to win. We know that they're an incredibly strong team. They just have to be a little bit more consistent.
Absolutely. NYXL is known for that choking in high-pressure situations.
Wow.
So maybe Atlanta
bringing
might
the
be the one.
LW blue sadness in here. I get it. All right.
Emily, let's look at the number 2 on our power rankings, Hangzhou Spark. New number 2, new record, best 6-1 stage record for the Spark. This is their highest placement in our power rankings, their best stage so far. Let's talk a little bit about playoffs, look ahead into the future. How far can the Spark actually go?
It really depends on what we see emerge as the meta for playoffs. If it continues shifting to more of these DPS compositions, I think the Spark will do very well. I'm also just really happy to see this team coming together. They were really highly rated coming into the season, and it took them some time because, you know, they are a hybrid lineup to kind of come together and really perform as a team. I think, again, the shift away from having to run as much triple is helping them out, despite having one of the best main tanks in the league. So I really love the Spark. I love watching them. They're a really exciting and fun team. And I think if their DPS players are allowed to go rampant, they could actually do quite well in playoffs.
Also some of the best colors in the Overwatch League. Big fan of pink and blue. Let's talk about our number one, Vancouver Titans. No real surprise there. They get a week off. They're not going to be at the Atlanta homestand, but it looks to me like this upcoming stage playoffs, is a little bit more even in terms of competition. Now, do we have as much confidence in the Vancouver Titans to come out on top of this stage playoffs as we have in the past?
Before this week, I would have said no. I actually really like how they adjusted after their loss. Bumper described it as like they were playing and suddenly everything just clicked, which I don't know how serious he was being about that, but they did look a lot more comfortable this week. They reacted really well. They fixed a lot of issues that they had in their loss. So I think that the bringing out Stitch and Sominsu on the same lineup was a really smart adjustment if they're not going to be running triple-triple. And they seem to have a really good understanding of what they have to do to succeed, again, in a post-triple-triple or GOATS world.
Absolutely. Emily Rand with all of the right answers. Thank you so much for all of your time and insight. And for more Overwatch League coverage, you can keep it locked right here on ESPN.com/esports.